If you grow up in the modern world, you are taught to treat money and finance in a very specific way. You're taught to save and invest. You're taught to make prudent decisions, not overextend yourself, avoid debt. And this, for the most part, is great advice. In fact, I think basic financial literacy should be taught in schools far more widely. But when you become an entrepreneur, this paradigm gets shattered. But it's worse than this, because if you hold on to those same money beliefs that you had when you were growing up, that the world taught you, you will unintentionally kill the growth of your business and you'll fail to realize your potential as an entrepreneur. This video is all about this mindset and why it's so important you adjust and adapt your financial mindset as you grow into your new identity as an entrepreneur. In case you don't know me, my name is Olly Richards. I'm the founder of StoryLearning.com. It's a multi-seven-figure online education business. I'm also a mentor and advisor to other online education business owners. This whole topic came from a discussion I was having with an entrepreneur friend who messaged me and sent me his money priorities. He said, Olly, here's how I think about money these days. Now, bear in mind that this is a successful entrepreneur who's built a mid-six-figure business and is doing really, really well. His priorities were as follows. So number 1, pay my bills. Number 2, pay my debts. Number 3, save money. And number 4, fun holidays. This probably looks very familiar, and when we grow up in the modern world, we are taught to think of things this way, and there's good reason for this. For example, the whole purpose of the education system is to get us into university. The whole purpose of university is to get us access to certain jobs. When you have a certain job, your career earning potential is pretty much defined. You know how long it's going to be before you can get a promotion. You know what salary that promotion will bring. That salary will determine the place that you can live, and the cost of your rent or mortgage will determine how much money you have left over for holidays at the end of the day. You can pretty much work out on the back of a napkin how your financial life will play out. And this is true for virtually everyone in society, which is why behaviors like paying your debts or even avoiding debt in the first place and then saving as much money as possible is so important, because once the money's gone for the month, there isn't any more coming. So it's vital that you play a mature, sensible game with the money that you have available to you. Now, when you start your own business, this paradigm gets completely shattered because you are no longer playing a finite financial game. In your regular career, you can maybe expect for your salary to go from, say, 30,000 to 100,000 over the course of a lifetime, perhaps. And it will take you 30 or 40 years to do that. But when you own your own business, you can achieve 20, 50, 100, 200% growth annually with your business. And this creates an infinite pie where the growth of your business really depends only on your ability to figure out how to do that. There is no arbitrary limit to how much wealth you can create. There is no gatekeeper, no boss sitting at his desk deciding when you are due a promotion and how much extra salary that promotion will bring. It's all to play for when you own your own business. But what happens is that entrepreneurs who find themselves newly successful with a business on their hands that's churning out 6 figures in revenue per year, they tend to still be operating with the same financial mindset from their old life. And it's understandable why, because we have decades, 20, 30, 40 years of conditioning to think like that. It's very difficult to go from being used to saving all the money that you have and investing it wisely into doing more aggressive things with money. But it's exactly those kind of aggressive things that you need to do as an entrepreneur if you want to grow your business and actually fully step into your opportunity as an entrepreneur. So number 1 on my friends list was pay your bills. And the reality is that in most cases, paying your bills, whether you have a business or not, is the first thing you got to do. But if you look at number 2, paying your debts and saving money, what does that actually mean? Well, paying your debt, you can put a number on that. If it's credit card debt, that's something else. But generally, most forms of debt, like a mortgage, might only be costing you between 3 to 5% annually. If you are saving money, then you are earning maybe 4 or 5% maximum interest on that money. So the cost of this money when it's debt and the potential return of that money when it's savings is usually very, very low. So when you consider the fact that with a business you can create 50, 100, 200% returns on your money, then that suddenly makes those numbers look very, very small. Does it still make sense to overpay your mortgage or to save money in the bank when that same money could help you grow your business by 100% next year? I mean, just think about what's on the table. If you have a business that is making, say, 300,000 in annual revenue, and let's just say that as a new growing business, you've got the ability to grow this business by 50% annually. Well, this would mean that the business that is today making 300,000 could this time next year be making 450,000. The year after that, it could be making 700 odd thousand. That kind of growth is absolutely achievable for a new growing business. And the amounts of money that you can actually then generate by growing your business absolutely dwarf anything that you could do by paying your taxes on that money, withdrawing it, and then either overpaying your mortgage, paying down your debts, or saving money and getting interest from the bank. I think the root of the problem often is that entrepreneurs never actually sit down and do a side-by-side comparison of how these numbers actually work. But when you hear it laid out like that, you realize, damn, this opportunity that I have with this business right here completely dwarfs all the other financial matters in my life. Now, I'm not saying here that you shouldn't pay off your debts and that you shouldn't save money. I think a certain amount of that is usually a good idea. But as an entrepreneur, you do have to be able to justify to yourself, when you have the opportunity to be earning a 100 or 200% return on your money, why it is that you are crystallizing the profits on that, you're paying your corporation tax, you're withdrawing it, you're paying dividend tax, and then you're sticking it in a savings account where you're earning 5%. On the face of it, with all things being equal, which of course they never are, it doesn't make any sense. And so the conversation I always find myself having with new entrepreneurs is one where I basically sit them down and give them a pep talk and say, look at the size of the opportunity that you've got right now. But in order to realize that, you have to do one important thing, and that is to reinvest money back into the business. Your business doesn't grow from 300,000 to 450,000. You don't get that 100% annual growth by just sitting on your hands and doing nothing. You have to put that money back in. But in order to grow your capital, you have to put it to work. And the place to put it to work is in your business, because inside your business, that is where your business can do the thing that it does best, which is the function of a business, which is to multiply capital. That's what a business does. And the amazing thing, incredible thing about entrepreneurship is that it gives you a way to grow your capital which is totally out of proportion. It's hundreds or thousands of times out of proportion to anything that you can do in the regular markets, which is what most people are forced to do with their money, because that's the only investment option available. The housing market, the equities market. You're playing a big average game there where returns are in the 3, 4, 5% area. In a business, you make the rules, but in order to get that growth, you've got to start to rejig your priorities. And so what that's going to look like is, number one, after paying your bills, the very first thing you do is to plow all of that money back into your business. You're reinvesting it. And I would do that at the expense of saving money. I would do that at the expense of paying down your debt. And not paying down your debt is a concept that's very, very foreign to anyone not in business, because debt is the biggest liability that you have in your life. In the world of entrepreneurship, debt can actually be an asset. You can use debt to grow your business. If you can take debt, and I'm not suggesting you do this, but follow the logic. If you take debt at 10% and then use that to grow your business at 100%, then you can very, very quickly pay off the debt. This is the whole world of M&A and how it works. Private equity uses debt to buy businesses. They then grow the overall business and use that growth to very easily pay back the debt using the new money that they've created. And so an entrepreneur has to get used to doing things like this and thinking in this way, which, far from being reckless, is actually one of the most sensible things you can do, because unlike money invested in the markets, as an entrepreneur, you are in control. You are the one who can actually go out there, do business, make the money work for you. And this is an opportunity that very few people have, and that really, I think, as an entrepreneur, you have a responsibility to do. But this does mean that this natural inclination, this instinct that you have to conserve and preserve money has to be put to one side so that you can reinvest that money back into your business, grow your business into something a lot bigger, and then very easily save much larger amounts and pay off all of your debt in one go further down the line, because you've done the sensible thing with the money. You've put it to work. So far from working with the finite pie that everyone else has to work with, you have an infinite pie to work with. And the only thing that you've got to do is lean in to that opportunity, lean into the courage necessary to reinvest your money and actually grow your business. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to reinvest 100% and that any money reinvested is a good reinvestment, because that is not the case. But it's the mindset that has to be shifted. And I think the reason that this can probably sound very, very obvious to you while watching, but can actually be so difficult when you're in the shoes of the fast-growing entrepreneur, is that you're fighting and battling against 10, 20, 30 years of money conditioning. So to go back to my entrepreneur friends list, number one, yeah, you got to pay your bills. Number two, you reinvest money. Number three comes fun, even before saving money and paying off your debts. Why? Because as an entrepreneur, if you are having fun, if you're enjoying your life, if you're making most of the world around you, that's going to put you in a frame of mind that allows you to continue building your business, that allows you to continue enjoying the journey and making the most out of the opportunity that you have. And it is not at all easy to make this mindset shift, but I find that having this conversation and just starting to think about how the world of opportunity in front of you is different to what it was is the first step in truly growing into your potential as an entrepreneur and really creating the life that you want. But finance is difficult, and if you want to see how I structure my entire business and the whole processes and financial mindset that I use to operate all financial stuff in the world of Olly, then you can click on this video over here, which is going to show you blow by blow exactly how I do that.